Well, when Ashwaju turned 60, you wrote an essay, Ashwaju as a logistician.
Logistician, yes.
Logistician, yes. And it came to my mind again when Soludo went to the federal government to complain that 40% of Anambra was now taken over by Gully and so on and so forth. And it made me think about the similar situation in Lagos with the Babbage, where there was a problem with the Babbage, and maybe what we know as Island today, Ikoyi and Victoria Island, will not be the same. Thinking of the idea of Ashwaju as a logistician, can you give us a sense of how that acumen was used to build what we now know as Oko Atlantic and save Ikoyi and Victoria Island from being submerged?
In fact, I remember then that what used to happen was that almost every year, the federal government used to pump sand, and the sea would just come and take it away. And the provisions in the budget of the federal government then annually was about 4 billion naira. And that was by the main opposition. And Ashwaju used to tell us then that this is money that they were using for elections. That the sand, how do you audit the sand? That let's look for a permanent solution. But every time we wrote to Obasanjo, then as the president, to hand over the beach, there would be a problem. And I was his chief of staff, so I was involved in drafting those letters. I would say, no, let's do it this way again. We will send another letter. Until one day, a letter came from the president Obasanjo and said, well, I hand over, go and do it. And that is how we started the story. Before then, the Victoria Island used to flood up to NTA, up to the Nigerian Law School. For those who remember, that has not happened in quite some time, except for one unusual flood, I think happened a year after I went out of office. I don't remember. But essentially, it's protected that shoreline. And this is the method of the man, is sure-footedness and resoluteness, really is the word. Now, as logistician, I remember when I joined government in 2002, it was the run-up to 2003 election. And there was a major problem with voters' registration. And he said, no, INEC will not disenfranchise Lagos voters. And that was where the logistician side of him came to me. And he said, no, Chief of Staff, you can't go home. People can't vote. It's our job to ensure that they vote. If INEC is not doing it, we will do it for them. And he says, you are a lawyer. Go and get all the magistrates. Write to the chief judge. Call the attorney general. And we started preparing affidavits. We got photographers to start taking people's photographs, swearing on oath that they were disenfranchised, they couldn't vote. We compiled everything. Let's go to the federal government. And in the event, INEC had to say, okay, calm down. Give us all the notes. That's how people got to vote in 2002, 2003. I remember during the 2006 census, when enumeration of households was going to start, I said, look, let us support these people. It's for our own benefit so that we have the right numbers. And it was myself then, as Chief of Staff, the current Deputy Governor now of Lagos, as Commissioner for Science and Tech, who provided the backbone. I think the chairman of the National Population Commission then was Alhaji Jiade. And we gave support, we did enumeration, we did everything. They told us they had 4.5 million households. So they had given us that figure. Now, what is the population? They now said Lagos was 9 million. I said, no, that doesn't make sense to me. If you have 4.5 million household, a household is a family. It means that there are only two people in Lagos said we are going to come. We initiated the challenge. I sustained it. And by the time we finished, when I finished as governor, out of 20 local governments, I think the Census Tribunal invalidated the results of that census in 11 local governments. And so from get-go, he had told us, don't rely on that 9 million to plan for Lagos. You will always fall short. And we use those household figures extrapolated to a minimum of 4 people per household and set the base of a population to work for at 16 million. So when people say Lagos works, it's the mindset and the approach to it. So if we had accepted those 9 million figures, we'll be planning water for 9 million people, refuse management with 9 million in mind, revenue generations with 9 million in mind, schools and roads and transport facilities with 9 million. We will continuously come short. So this is the kind of mindset, and this is my experience. Nobody told me this. I was inside. I saw this. So, and this is, for me, the choice that lies before people now. And I think that is what we need. With a governor, Shettima now as his running mate, somebody who has seen terror up close, who confronted it, stood up against it, stayed in his state, and that was important, to fight terror. I think you have quite some combination out there in terms of experience and very, very proven character and courage.
Yes, you've seen your candidates crisscross the country, and we've seen the level of massive support that he has garnered with the crowd, the number of crowds that come out whenever he goes to campaign at a particular state. And we've also seen Governor Nyesom Wike of the PDP, speaking to the fact that your candidate is what Nigeria needs. What say you to the level of support he has been garnering, and what kind of numbers are you expecting on the day of elections?
Well, we are expecting very positive voter turnout in spite of the challenges. People are excited about these elections, and we hope that the excitement stays till election days. I've seen some funny polls that do not clearly accord with what our voting experience is. I have had the privilege of being involved in Nigeria's elections at gubernatorial and presidential levels now since 2002. So this is 21 years. I've been polling since 2002. I am happy to see a lot more of our elites now getting involved in polling, but I dare say that they haven't made enough investments. So they will continue to get skewed numbers. They will be using inadequate samples, and they will be using clearly unsustainable methodologies. Our polls now show that our candidate is in the lead, and that was as at the end of January, and our poll was not done by phone. It was done in person, 5,000 sample, which is about the size of sample that is used for the American elections, in-person interviews, and we're still continuing. We'll get more results in the next few days. But whilst we are polling in person, let me tell you this today, we are also polling online. And as at yesterday, we had done almost 10,000 online interviews with likely voters who have PVCs, and they still indicate that we are ahead in spite of the challenges. So people have made up their mind. So when people are publishing polls now, 7 days to the election, 10 days to the election, and they are still showing that over 30% are undecided, I don't know what their methodology is. Our margin of error in the face-to-face sample poll that we did is 1%, plus or minus 1%. That is the margin of error. That was as at the end of January, and it put us clearly ahead. So this is where we are. We expect to win. We've worked hard for this. We've prepared for this. We've trained people. We've trained agents, and all of this is public domain. And preparation has been our key, and it has always been the basis of our success, and I'm sure that it will lead us to success again.